series. I had been writing about a motley team of former Special Forces soldiers who had been drummed out of the service for various reasons. But because of particular skills or talents, they were secretly recruited by DARPA, the Defense Department's research and development agency, to act as field agents for covert projects and missions. By then, the titular Joseph Kowalski was a member of Sigma, but it was not the first time I had written about him. He debuted in an earlier novel, Ice Hunt, but I loved writing about this former Navy man, a fellow who was not the brightest of the lot, but who perhaps was special in his own way, so I recruited him into Sigma. Still, I never shared the story of how he joined this elite team, so, goaded by peer pressure, I used this opportunity to finally tell the tale of how Kowalski became a member of Sigma. That is, Kowalski's in love. As I wrote this story, I could hear my ninth-grade English teacher whispering in my ear. I sweated each word, pared the story down as much as I could, and while it was hard, I learned that such stories are not without their own particular delights. It allowed me to explore corners and back alleys of my larger work, areas not afforded even within the boundless expanse of a novel. So, let me welcome you all here to those hidden corners, to grant you unrestricted access to those back alleys of my writing. Throughout this collection, I'll pop back in, here and there, to act as your guide, to let you know how the stories came about and why. Still, before we begin, let it be known that I have not forgotten the wisdom and warning of my ninth-grade English teacher. Acknowledging that lesson, I make you all a sincere promise. I'm even willing to set it in print. I will never write poetry. Kowalski's in Love. James Rollinss. He wasn't much to look at, even swinging upside down from a hog snare. Pug-nosed, razor-clipped muddy hair, a 6-foot slab of beef, hooked and hanging naked except for a pair of wet gray boxer shorts. His chest was crisscrossed with old scars, along with one jagged, bloody scratch from collarbone to groin. His eyes shone wide and wild, and with good reason. 2 minutes before, as Dr. Shea Rosario unhitched her glide chute on the nearby beach, she had heard his cries in the jungle and come to investigate. She had approached in secret, moving silently, spying from a short distance away, cloaked in shadow and foliage. "Back off, you furry bastard!" The man's curses never stopped, a continual flow tinged with a growled Bronx accent. Plainly, he was American, like herself. She checked her watch, 8:33 a.m. The island would explode in 27 minutes. The man would die sooner. The more immediate threat came from the island's other inhabitants, drawn by the man's shouts. The average adult mandrill baboon weighed over 100 pounds, most of that muscle and teeth. They were usually found in Africa, never on a jungle island off the coast of Brazil. The yellow radio collars suggested the pack were once the research subjects belonging to Professor Salazar, shipped to this remote island for his experimental trials. Mandrillous sphinx were also considered frugivorous, meaning their diet consisted of fruits and nuts, but not always. They were also known to be opportunistic carnivores. One of the baboons stalked around the trapped man, a charcoal-furred male of the species with a broad red snout bordered on both sides by ridges of blue. Such coloration indicated the fellow was the dominant male of the group. Females and subordinate males, all a duller brown, had settled to rumps or hung from neighboring branches. One bystander yawned, exposing a set of 3-inch-long eye teeth and a muzzle full of ripping incisors. The male sniffed at the prisoner. A meaty fist swung at the inquisitive baboon, missed, and whished through empty air. The male baboon reared on its hind legs and howled, lips peeling back from its muzzle to expose the full length of its yellow fangs. An impressive and horrifying display. The other baboons edged